चलें अंकल, जब आपको याद आता है, क्या उम्र थी आपकी, जो बातें आपको याद हैं? मुझे पता है कि आप पाकिस्तान में थे, आपके पिताजी माताजी क्या पढ़ते थे, क्या आसपास का वातावरण था, याद
एक्चुअली उस टाइम पाकिस्तान नहीं था, इट वॉज अनडिवाइडेड इंडिया। तो उस टाइम तो इंडिया था, पाकिस्तान हैड हैपेंड इन 1947। मेरा पैदाइश हुई थी कराची के अंदर, और आई थिंक आई रिमेंबर फ्रॉम मे बी 5-6 साल के एज के बाद में आई रिमेंबर वट एवर थिंग्स हैपेंड। माई फादर वॉज अ लॉयर देयर इन कराची, एंड आई एट दैट टाइम ओनली व्हेन आई वाज चाइल्ड, 8-9 साल में वैसे लग रहा था मेरे को वकील बनना चाहिए. So that was in Karachi, and we had a very good time there, and I have a lot of memories from there. My school that I used to go, and my uncles that used to there, and basically 1948 में we had to migrate when there was a partition of
अच्छा,
India.
एक मिनट वापस वहीं रहते हैं
Huh?
तो
One minute, just let me tell you about my stay there in the age about 7-8 years when this British rule. In the British rule, there was a revolution to have the India, get the Britishers out, and we became India, independent India. But I watched the activities from the gallery of our home. I used to see the people running around throwing tear gas, and we used to throw water from the top, which was those people that were having tear gas used to thank. And my father was also very active in the Congress party. So I remember some of those things before partition. Now partition happened, that there were a lot of people that came from Sindh and Punjab and Bangladesh to Pakistan, and later people reverse both ways. So we moved in 1948 from India, undivided India, to Jodhpur first. First was.
अब एक मिनट के लिए मेरे
अब now you can, yeah.
So I want you to recollect the memories that you have of your father. What kind of a person he was? What is it that you felt was very impressive about him, or any of his habits, any details that?
Well, he was a very good father, and he used to represent some of the good companies. He also was a vice principal in a school, so the dual kind of work he was doing it, and very nice, very loving. He used to, every Sunday, he used to take us to Karachi, Kyamari, or the fruit gardens, and a couple of his lawyers and their families. So very good. All I can say is that all his life he took care of us and educated us, and
So now,
let me tell you something. I don't know. I want to go on TV. And this whole period, my father only slapped me a little here. Why? You will not believe it. Because I went with one of my uncle or somebody to a movie, cinema, and there was 4 आना ka ticket. So he says, 4 आना? Why? Because what happened in that period, or even now, the 4 आना people are like, I cannot say anything against. But he says, you should, 1 rupee the highest ticket. You had told me I'll give you the money, never do that again. I say, okay. So he did not like that one, that my son went in, and these people are drunk, they are drinking, the other people, how they treat people, I may not get involved in those people's, which was very nice. But by and large, I would say he was my great, good father, yes.
And any other?
And he followed Swami Vivekananda. Mm-hmm. We had a big picture of Vivekananda. He was also very much follower of Swami Vivekananda.
Very nice.
And me. I remember another thing I used to do there is I was in RSS at that time. You know RSS? RSS.
Yes.
And I went RSS some period. Then somehow, I don't know why, I changed to RSD. That was a Congress party, same thing. So I had experience of both, working with the RSS. So that age, I think about 10 years old or 11 years old, I left Pakistan, that area that became Pakistan. That's how it happened.
Now, your journey from Pakistan or undivided India to Jodhpur, Rajasthan.
Yeah.
Any memories?
Oh yeah, I mean Jodhpur I stayed quite a number of years.
Before you reached Jodhpur, how was the journey?
Journey came through Bombay, because at that time the big rush we got into a ship. There were no planes and all that. Maybe planes were there, but we couldn't. So some people went by railway to Jodhpur. Those people that my auntie, and they used to live in Nawab Shah, which was close to by the train to going to Jodhpur. And we were in Mumbai, Karachi. So from Karachi, we took a ship. So packed completely, I mean, hardly place to even sit down. And all we ate was rice and dal for 3 days. Now we reached Mumbai, where one of my father's friend was there. He came there and he picked us from the port and took us home for 2-3 days. Very nice people, good food and all that. Then we went to, because my aunt had been to Jodhpur, we came to Jodhpur, and it was like a very small place, and I cannot say that kind of place. We slept and stayed. Then my father got in 48. He came about a year down because he was in the business of helping people exchange the properties or something like that. So when he came in, then we got a rental place under Swanchi Gate. I think Swanchi Gate, right? Jodhpur, you are from Jodhpur, you know that. Yes. We stayed few years there, and then my father, who was a commissioner of rehabilitation, got transferred from Jaipur to Jaipur. So then we got a house there, nice house in Jaipur, and then we moved to Jaipur. So Jodhpur was very interesting because I had my school there, high school, and I had my 2 years of college, SMK Inter College in Jodhpur. So nice memories, some good friends and all those things.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what did you hear from your father about partition, anything about Hindus, Muslims?
Well, at that point, basically everybody was fighting the Congress party. He was, so they were happy and free. Personally speaking, I must say that it was not fair to our Sindhi community, because in partition, half of the Punjab went to India, half of the Bengal went to India, half and half. Entire Sindh, without even an inch, they went to Sindh, because they said that there was a majority of Muslims there. But at that point, the thing was happiness, that we ought to celebrate the Britishers going away. And you see these are articles these days, people are discussions these days also, whether either the leaders of the community, this was a fair game or not, but they were actually eager. Somehow they just wanted to have the British rule gone and have. I mean, the whole thing that you started about Pakistan was some of the movement by some of the people, and then Pakistan was created.
Now let's hear your impressions of Jodhpur and Jaipur. Compare two cities those days when you were growing up. You moved to Jaipur. It was a great city as compared to Jodhpur.
Well, basically, Karachi, if you look at Karachi, was a big city. Karachi and Mumbai, you can say they were on the same way of life and all that. But Karachi was so beautiful, very nice city, clean, because the British were there and a lot of Britishers were there also in Karachi, and it was a ship there and airports there and all that. But then later on, when I went there, many years down the road, it's a lot of crowded, and it's not the same thing that was pre-partition.
So now Jaipur.
Yeah, basically, even this side, the developments have taken place on both sides. The problems happened on the both sides, the violence and everything. Anyway, everything is settled down now that way, but things, I don't want to mention anything more.
So let's hear your experiences as a teenager in Jaipur, or as a young man in Jaipur. What kind of dreams were there? What kind of friend circle you had?
Well, we had most of the friends were from the school, college, and a couple of family through. So that was good. We used to go to the cinemas, Chaturved Cinema and Krishna Cinema. Oh, probably you were not born there. You don't even know these names. Krishna Cinema, Chaturved Cinema, and the Polo Victory there, and the stadium. So that was the only entertainment. We used to go at least once a week, some movie or something. I enjoyed it. Good time with good friends, meeting the friends, and with a good time. And basically, I enjoyed staying in. And I think where your dad came from, your family, the Kabutron ka Chowk, right? When I tell your father, I'll come to that later on, that he was surprised that I had been there in that period. Of course, I had not met him that time. I'll tell you later on as to how I came into contact with your father. And he was one of the closest friend, as you know.
And because of that friendship, I'm sitting in front of you here in New York. But as a young Michael Phulwani was thinking about his future, was he consulting to his father as to what should I do?
No, my father was interested, but he says, up to you. He was interested, I can become a lawyer, it'll be good, I can just get his practice. At that time, we did not know the partition, and then of course he got a government job in India, coming there as a commissioner of the rehabilitation and all that. But even there, he always told me that you choose I would like you to be a lawyer if you are interested, And I wanted to do that. I saw him practicing law, I saw the lawyers, I saw the courts. I got that into my blood and a feeling. So I decided I want to be a lawyer from the very beginning, from the school days only. And I kept it all the way up until I became a lawyer. Yeah. And during the period that I was in Jaipur, I still remember an event where my professor in philosophy was invited to come to the International Philosophical Conference in Peradeniya University in Ceylon, which is Sri Lanka now. And we went there and stopped, of course, a couple of stops. And it's a long journey, train from Delhi to Madras, to then small train there, and then a boat going to Sri Lanka. So we attended that conference, and on our way back, my professor was creative. He just sent a message to the Rashtrapati Bhavan that the delegation of philosophical students coming back to home want to stay in Delhi for a day and like to meet you. And I said, well, a joke, come on, what are you talking about? He said, don't worry, I just do these things. And he was always like, we had a conference with the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka was there, or Indian ambassador was there, but he had some tricks. They were talking, he goes in, hands like this. So when you say hand like this to anybody, he said, sir, my name is this, and these are my friends, Mr. Phulwani, and this and all that. So he used to always tell me that don't worry about that. The press, he told the guy press that we are going to meet and take the picture. Okay. So next day in the morning, the waiter came with a breakfast with a picture. Sir, your photo with the Prime Minister on the front page. I said, what? What are you talking about? Anyways, those are the interesting things I always remember. I can never forget those. So on our way back, going back, we stopped in Delhi. Just he made a call. He says, I don't know. He made a call around 12 o'clock, and somebody picked the phone. He said, yes. The president says yes. He would like to see you. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India. Now, imagine, why would the first president of India? Remember why? Because philosophy. That was his field. And then later on, when we met him and then Rashtrapati Bhavan, then he said that he was interested to talk to us to see what happened and who was there, and not 1.5 hours. And then they gave us the garden, beautiful garden. We went around that also. Now, when I came back to Jaipur, my father, some staff member came in, sir, your son made the president. He said, come on, stupid. Why would my son meet the president of India? He said, see the paper, because the newspaper they used to have. Today, the president made the following, and that was Sunday. So we are only one on that list, small 4 list. So those were some of the old memories you can never forget. Then meeting the president of India, which my father even could not even get his initials, or autographs.
Share with me your memories of Professor Chandmal Sharma, I believe. He was the professor?
Professor I.C. Sharma.
Professor so share your memories about Professor I.C. Sharma and anything distinctly that has stayed with you about first president of India.
Well, basically his own character that taught us few things, that he used to be a good philosophy professor. He read books on even Jainism, Terapanthi sect of Jainism and all that. So we understood that. We understood the Hindu law, the Vedas and other things. So it was a lot that we learned from him. And interestingly, when he was in Jodhpur also, when we went in, he also transferred to Jaipur. So I was with him until we left Jaipur. So that was a very good period. I mean, Jaipur was where, after coming to Jaipur, when I finished the college, I was about to get admitted in the practice of law, I met your father. I don't remember how I was introduced to him, But then we became very close friends. Now, your father used to be a representative of most Bollywood companies. When even your grandfather, Inder Rajji, he was also doing the same thing, going to the theaters and checking how many people are there and the collection and all that. So your father, A.R. Vyas, used to take me all the time, everywhere and all that. So we became very, very close friends. And he's gone now, but we still remember him like anything. So that was Jaipur's experience a lot, and then basically I practiced law there in Jaipur.
Since you mentioned about my father, so as friends, you do certain things together. Is there anything?
We were always together. Most of the time we were used to spend time together, other than my going to court and all that. Whenever he will come there and also I sit down and have tea or coffee there, or I'll go with him to the theaters and all that. So we had a very good time. I learned a lot. That's where this Bollywood thing came into me, and I introduced all the managers of the cinemas and their legal issues, also some of them. So that was a very good period where I got into. Not only that, with him we started a company and we started bringing some second run movies for. So we with some business, also film distribution business together on that.
So that attorney Michael Phulwani in Jaipur, was he dreaming about doing something in America those days?
I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know anything about that initially. After I practiced law and I was in Jaipur, I got an offer of a job in Central Railway in Bombay, VT, the legal department. So 1964, I remember 1964, I moved to Mumbai. And in Mumbai, when I was in Mumbai, I had a couple of friends who went to America, and then I decided also to follow them. And actually, it was so strange that the chief of the railway department, they said, Mr. Phulwani, you don't have any friend, you don't have any job. Are you going to leave this job? Because as a railway officer, I used to have first class tickets and travels and all the benefits. And it's a good job, and railways used to be. I said, well, I don't know. I just want to go, I want to see. Of course, I was interested. I used to go to the library of the American Embassy there and read the books. Let me tell you an interesting thing about me getting a green card. This is an important thing. When I just went and applied, the requirement there was, all you need is a college degree. No employer, no sponsor, nothing. Just a college degree, apply and you get a green card. All right. So that's what happened. I went and the lady saw me, a Parsi lady. She said, your degree, college degree, no problem, apply. So I applied. Then after a few months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, I got a letter, your application is denied because the labor certification is expired. I said, what? I'm a lawyer, I should go into this. So I went to the American library there. I got some books on immigration. I didn't see any rule under which they had denied. So they said, you can appeal within 30 days. And I sent an appeal saying that as far as I know, this is the wrong decision. Then I said, hell with it, jane do, finish it. I kept on again. After 2 or 3 months, all of a sudden I get a letter. Your appeal has been approved, please come in for the interview. The interview was very brief. At that time, it was like they took me to the officer in the room and he told me America, this and that, and congratulations, and you have a good time in USA. No, they don't at the window. So basically, that was one incident that also inspired me. I say, like me, a lot of people may not be getting the right decisions. Maybe I must do that. I want to help only not myself, but a lot of other people from my country who may need my help and services. And that's how I went to the immigration field when I came to the US.
Yeah, okay,
so
let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
So you were touring with philosophy professor.
Yeah.
And you became a very, very well-known immigration attorney in America.
Yeah.
Now, in the meantime, there is one philosophical side and one is commercial side. So, was helping and serving people the prime motive for you to do what you did, or it was money?
It's just some thinking changes. It's like it's just not a philosophical. It's it's philosophical generally, philosophical India, Vedas, and all that. It's also psychology a part of that was psychology. So in psychology, we understand that aham gacham gachami, you say, yeah, where are you searching the God? God is within you. Some religious things and a lot of things we understood. We read his books. We were spent time with him. In life, you always should be open to take any good information coming in, and that helps you in the life. This is doing anything in life. You have gone through from your childhood, from your school, from your college, with your parents. All those things help. All those things help. So when I came here, now let's talk about 19.
Okay, so I'll interrupt you one more time.
Yes, yes.
Before you left India,
Yeah.
what was the reaction of your father, your family members, and any apprehension as to what will happen in future?
Unfortunately, my father had died at that time, just about a year or two before that. So I think the money-wise also, maybe America may be a good thing. I can help my family more. Plus, I wanted to do something more than working in a government office. I mean, I'm getting good salary, but there's nothing I can see going up very fast or doing something that I want to do. I have to just work their job, whatever it is, Although it was interesting also, going to the different cities. I used to travel a lot and meet people, their lawyers in other cities and all that. But when my friend, a year before that, we had a close friend, he was an engineer. He went, he said, why don't you try too? Because you are qualified also, I think. So then, as I told you, I went there and then I got the immigrant visa and migrated in 1964 to US.
Did you fly before that?
I'm sorry, 1969. 1964, I moved to Mumbai, and there also, basically, I spent a good time, had good friends, and met a lot of people, and learned a lot about that.
What did you learn traveling in trains?
Well, basically, traveling trains, I met different cities. I went to Jabalpur, I went to Bhopal, I went to a lot of those cities that I went. I saw the little different culture, different food, different, things. Unlike America. America, I'm not saying anything again, I'm just saying because it's 200, 300 years of history only. You go to Chicago, go to California, go to any city, more or less looks like same Marriott Hotel, then you got the same restaurant, same food, same thing. Very little change. In India, you look at that. Go from Kashmir, go to Simla, go to New Delhi, go to Rajasthan, go to Mumbai, go to Calcutta, go down to south. The temples, the people that they talk, and the food. It's like a different places, different. I learned a lot about that also. So it was a lot of experience going to different things and all that, going to railways also. I went from north to south and going to meet the lawyers, to meet the courts, and doing things like that. It get you confidence, So that's what they're good at.
So now with confidence, when you were planning to move to America, you probably needed some money. Did you save enough or somebody helped you?
Somebody did help me, let me be honest with you. But that was a good thing because this was a company, a friends of mine, and they know that I was going to America. They said, we'll help you on that, some part. But they wanted me to go to some other countries. I went to Paris. I went to stopped in Germany. I make a stop in, I think before that, Kuwait. I made a stop in Amsterdam. They paid me all the fee, fare. Fare was same thing. Because at that time, they said you can make any stops anywhere you want, the same ticket. I think it was $4,000 probably. We'll make all the stops. 4,000 rupees, I'm sorry. 4,000 rupees at that time. So I made, before reaching London, where I had a friend actually. So one night I take with him and then I reached in US, 1969, I remember.
So 1969, Michael Phulwani comes to America.
Yeah.
When he's coming out on, maybe was it JFK airport?
JFK, yes.
Who was there to receive you? And
I had a friend from India, I known him, and I used to be in touch with him, and I told him I'm coming. He was nice, and he came to the airport. Then we took a taxi and went to his place. And he told me that because he got 2-3 people living there, the landlady, which he comes to know, is a big problem. So we can only stay one night. And next day I went to YMCA in Manhattan and in New York. And 3, 4, 5 days down the road, you use $6 a day. And I used to only spend $1 mostly, or $2 maximum. Because I was always concerned that I have some money, but how long is it going to last? And what will happen? All kind of thoughts. How am I going to go back? But I was confident. I was confident that something will happen. So basically, I started looking for any job, because when you come, first generation Americans, anybody has come before, whether from Italy, from Australia, sorry, from Ireland, from UK, they have gone through, most of us. So I'm a first generation, and our first generation, your first generation are different, because your first generation, like my family members came, or friends came, or whoever, I was at the airport with a Mercedes car to pick them up and go home and straight away. And nobody was there, so I had a YMCA, nobody, alone, all alone, just moving around and trying to see where I can just buy a newspaper for $1.50 and see where I can apply. Then one of my friends told me there's the place available in Brooklyn, and a small house, and lady wanted a paying guest. So they gave me a small place and a one bathroom with 2 doors. When they go in the bathroom, they close and also. That's small. So basically, this was 69. Then also I got a job in J.C. Penney and Company as a claims specialist. That was the opening up for me. But before that, I was even wanted to go as a salesman in Macy's. And then I didn't go there. But when I got that, I also got that job. So I did a part-time. From morning 6, I get up and then get ready, eat something quick, run to the bus, from bus to the train station to the office around 8:30. Then at 4:45, run to Macy's and work up to 9:30, getting home at 11. Hard life, tough life. Every day was with hard life. But I stood by, no, something has to go, something has to be done. Then another company called W.T. Grant and Company, I saw an ad, I went there. My salary went up from 125 a week to 170 a week. So that was good. Then I got a newspaper in which they had ad for saying a transportation lawyer. Now I said, let me try that. So I applied there. I went for an interview. I said, I'm a lawyer, but from India. But he said, oh, but you have a lot of experience. So, okay, gave me a job as a legal assistant. And that was in 1971. And then about 3 years, I got admitted to practice law in New York. In 1974 and 1976, I got admitted to practice law in New Jersey. And then when I left the job that I had, even actually my boss said, why are you leaving? Stay here, you will become a partner someday. I said, I want to change my field. My mind was filled with immigration, meeting about family, peoples, Indians and all that. And that was a time, that I tell you what, when I walk on a street in 74, or walk on a street, I see a woman in sari. Arey wah, Indian aa gayi ladki, That was so interesting. There was only one store there called Kolistan, the Jewish in Lexington Avenue. They only had a few items, dal and something, and that was the only place. And then other stores started coming in the House of Spices, and then other restaurants and everybody. So
slight backtrack. As a student, how was your experience studying here in American education system?
Well, basically that was an important question, because in New York at the time the law was that if you have practiced law in the highest court of the which is British law, English law, at least 5 years in the highest court in that country, that follows the US British law, then you can get admitted on a motion. So I applied for a motion, then they referred my name to different people, to the district judge, to the Rajasthan High Court. That was another big story. But I said, listen, I don't know what the letters they are going to send. I went to Jaipur, and your father came with me, and we met one of the district judges there, and then we met I went to the High Court. Mr. Berry was the Chief Justice of Rajasthan at that time, and basically there's a different thing. You go the Indian lawyer that were going around, and a US lawyer, and the letter comes in. So they all supported me. Good references. I got admitted to the bar in 1974 in New York on a motion. But 1976, I had to take a bar exam in New Jersey. And then, of course, I spent a lot of time in also learning more immigration, attending the conferences and learning more and more, and helping more and more people. And as I was, I would say, one of the very big, early immigration lawyers, Indian American, I did develop a practice. And then ITV was the vision of Asia at that time. And I was invited by Dr. Vishwanath to come on the TV program and give a lecture and speak on the immigration. This way the practice increased and increased and increased, and then all about the Bollywood and other things that happened And here I am still there.
So let us again go back to the initial period of your practice when you were in the process of establishing yourself. How did you see the role of media in helping you reach out to the community? You also started writing columns for Indian newspapers.
Yeah.
How that came about? How was the experience of writing and being in front of the people?
I mean, see, once you get in, for example, I got into ITV, and then I think in somehow I met the person in India Tribune there, and they started writing article for them, and the News India at that time, I think I don't remember his name, but they wanted also good articles because more and more Indians, more Indians started coming there in 1970, 71, 72 and all that. I mean, I give you an interesting information. Most people who are listening to this don't even know. There was a guy from Rajasthan, Marwadi, and he wanted to apply for a green card based upon investment. Yeah. Investment. No, investment, you know how much amount it was at that time? Only 10,000. $10,000 you invest, you get a green card. Now, I took him to the immigration office. The lady was there, an officer. He said, what do you do? He said, deal in the James. Oh, yeah, you do that also? So, in Jaipur, like they take a pudi and he took out and showed her. She forgot all about that he was the immigration officer. She all forgot all that I was here for the case. I say, it's not on me. She's only looking at how much is this, this is very nice, this rate is. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. He told, listen, if you want anything, you cannot bribe. I can get you at the very low price, cost price. He cannot say because. So then I say, about the case. Oh yeah, give me the passport. Stamped it. That, imagine, $10,000 investment. She did not even interview him, only look at the diamonds. So those were the areas. Now it is $500,000 and a lot of other issues there.
Immigration Law Association.
The immigration in that sense changed a lot from that time and this time. We used to just go to the Department of State with a camera on the ITV and interview the officers, consular officers, immigration officers. I cannot give you all the list of so many immigration directors, commissioners, immigration commissioners in Washington, D.C., in the State Department. We interviewed so many things on Vijayanavisa and then on ITV for years. So once it started growing, is different, more and more media come on TV, media come on the radio, media come on newspapers, and thank God.
So
and then every year we went to India, give the lectures there, interviews with the newspapers, Times of India and the Sun Times. They all used to interview on the first page sometimes. We had the conferences there. It grew. God blessed.
when you started visiting India, how that made you feel? Now you are going from America, different perception of people, and you establish your own office in Mumbai. And so talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So what's your question?
The question is, what made you decide to establish office in Mumbai?
Yeah, because a lot of the work, some of the work has to be done at the consulates. Some work has to be done with the immigration here. And I thought that people that need elderly parents, a lot of people, they need help in going to the American consul and working there. So I started office there for many years and then helped a lot of people. I tell you, Ashok, many times I go to some place, a marriage or somebody, or some meeting or somebody, and all of a sudden somebody will come. I say, Mr. Phulwani, here is my wife. She wants to say hello to you because you did her green card 20 years ago, 30 years ago. God willing, I'm saying that's how the word got around very good in the community. A lot of people, as you know me very well, and which is nice of them. I thank everybody. And I could do whatever help I can give to anybody I have done, and I'm still doing it.
So you met two presidents of India. One you mentioned earlier was with your professor. Second time it was a Indian American who went back from India.
That is correct.
From America.
That is correct.
Yeah. Talk to me. And this time I think you talked to the president also.
Yeah, but big difference. President Rajendra Prasad, even as I was young in school there, he spent 1.5 hours sit down, just 3-4 of us, and talking about the philosophical other thing. And that it was a group of lawyers. So meet everybody. He talked to me a little more because I was the only Indian in the whole American and British lawyers. So he was surprised and he said, "Oh, we're very proud of you that you are now in the US. You are now practicing law there." So it's a different thing, but it was a small amount of a few minutes with him.
Another important aspect in your life has been your fascination for Bollywood. Partly you met some of maybe celebrities, but you did something related to film distribution in Jaipur. But once you were in America, again your association with some of the Bollywood celebrities started happening.
So as I told you that I was one of the first Indian American lawyer there in immigration, when some of these people wanted to do some programs, right? I tell you some interesting stories. I can prepare the whole 1 hour on that, but I'll try to be brief if I can. The first one was a friend of mine with whom I think one of the music directors or somebody, Ravi, I think, Ravi, that he did in also Nagin and some of the movies also. He was with my friend here living. My friend told him to do some song program with the friends that we have in a school. Used to be in Queens. There was the school in which we used to show the movies and all that. So I said, okay. So he came to me in the night, Ravi. Somebody brought him. He said about the visa. He said, I cannot do unless I have the Dholakia, you know. I said, but Dholakia is in India. You are here. Actually, he was not even, he was on a visitor visa actually. I don't know how it happened. So I don't know what to do. And I had to go to the immigration office. I talked to the officer. I took the information. And I don't want to say more than the names and all that. So she said, okay, because he knew me, so of course, from the little period. He said, okay, I will approve it. And he typed it and approved, and that case to take with you. I said, that's not enough because that guy has to be Sunday and 2 days after that. So what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to call. He said, can I call now? They were in the night there. So what do you want me to do? I said, can you call in the night at 12 o'clock from your home? She said, you must be crazy, Mr. Rohan. He said, I don't know. But she used to go to the movies and all that. Every day she will come late. So she came one night, that night only. And then she said, you put me on the line. And she told the officer that we approved this case. And then you can issue to him. There's only one person coming to the care. He said, okay, he can come in. But I told her, tell them he's outside. So basically he said, oh, that guy is sitting. That time you could go in the consulate or anything with the dholaka, music and instruments and sit there. Now it's a whole different thing. So he was outside, so she made a call and he came in and stamped the visa, took the flight and came. Like those are the things that we used to meet the consuls for evenings and maybe sometime also for a meeting or dinners. All the whole time was a whole different thing than it is now. Because we used to share our experience with them. Some officers even requested us to meet all the consul officer and give him some kind of information of what happens in the, because people think as if that everybody consul knows all the laws, everything else. It's not necessary, because life is like that. If even in our own immigration field, if I'm only doing certain type of cases like Bollywood more, then most people want to come to me because I have the maximum experience and knowledge about the Bollywood. Similarly, in any other field, the consul officer is only more into the issuance of the visas to the people. But how they got the petition approved from here is really a different thing. So it was completely different thing, that there were times where we were even requested to meet the consul officer going from here to India to brief him before he goes there. So this was a whole different ball game. It was working very smoothly, very nice. Everybody was doing right, absolutely under the law. Nothing. I never ever told any American consul officer or immigration officer, please do me a favor. I never say that. I'll never say it. I say, just please, can you look at this? If there's a problem, just look at this. That's good enough. Based upon the request, they review it and they say okay or not okay, whatever it is, and that's their decision. But never influence, never do something wrong, never do any bribes, never. People sometimes say, Saab, oh, kar do na. What is that? It's not going to happen here. It's a law. Every officer has to follow the law very strictly. It happens according to the law. Yeah.
Share your memories of having worked with some top celebrities, starting from singer Mehndi Hassan.
Basically, starting that, I think I got the first one as I did, again the same way. It was Ghulam Ali. Ghulam Ali case also similarly. Uh, I can tell that I'm sure I have not asked Jaspal Soi, but okay. Jaspal Soi told me, he said, I'm calling him, and I say, okay, give me the papers, let me go and file it. So I went to the immigration with all the papers, and I told the same officer was there. I said that this is the issued petition, and this has to be done very quickly because of all that. He said, oh, you have the papers? I said, prepare the application. I prepared everything. He said, go down, pay the fees, come up. Come up. And since there were no computers there, she went a typer, I typed the approval and gave it to me in the envelope. I come back and Paul asked me, you got the receipt? I say, open it. He opens, it's approval. I say, approval? Real to nahi, this cannot be real. How can you go in 1 hour and bring the approval? I said, approval. So those were the times. Then of course, as you do these good jobs like that, unexpected, right? The confidence, the people come in. People that are coming in these days, they came a lot of time, I'll talk about the Bollywood. If they have invested millions of dollars in doing a film shooting in the US, right? If they have a big performance with big artists and all that, they don't mind a few money here and there and whatever. They are just want to make sure that that happens, because understand, if they announce something, they sell the tickets and the show doesn't come in, it's very serious. That one thing happened, not me, some lawyer before, I think Asha Bhosle, no, Lataji was in Canada, and they had a show here already. Madison Square Garden sold out, and they didn't know they were to go to the American consul and then get a stamp. It's not so. You got to file a petition and approval and go through the process. They could not come. Believe me, that show was cancelled. I don't remember the name, and it's a big, huge problem. So that's why it is very important that for those companies, that's how I came in, started that Ghulam Ali, the Mehdi Hassan, old ones, you understand, when I'm talking about Mehdi Hassan, you're going, I don't know how far back in Pakistan. And then, of course, then I do the film shooting that was done, the first one, I think, Rishi Kapoor came in, Ka Ab Lord Chale, like that. So this way, and then the other producers came in and I talked to Rishi ji, how do we go to America? Because before that, before the law changed, they used to go to the American consul directly and get an approval and come here, whatever. That whole changed. Now, in order to come for these groups, they come to me, we file the petition, we get a union clearance and all the work to be done, and thank God everything. So now, then everybody can. This chair I'm sitting here, Devanand was sitting in this office in this chair for maybe at least 3 times. Then all the people that.
Okay, let's stay with Devanand for a while. And I remember when you were in Ajmer or Jaipur, you were probably queuing up to get his autograph.
No, not Devanand. No, Ajmer. I was a student at that time. I was there for some time, and there was one girl that, I don't want to call her a girlfriend, but the girl that knew me said, sir, please, can you get you are going to that place, can you get me autograph? I said, give me a paper. So I went, Sajan, there was a small actor there in those, from Jodhpur actually.
Yes.
So I met him, I told him I'm from Jodhpur also. He said, no problem, you just get autograph. Imagine, could I ever think that Devanand will be my friend and spending nights with me, or Rishi Kapoor will be coming and praying every day with me in the bar and and Karan Johar's father, Yash Johar, came in, Nikhil Advani came, Kal Ho Na Ho. Lot of those movies we did, Bonnie Kapoor's movie, most of the production companies, thank God. And recently we got also award from IFA. You know IFA? IFA do every year, they do, and this time they did in New York, and I got an award from IFA. And personally, I have met most of the actors and helped them in different times, different places. I would say that most of them, producers, directors, they know because of this thing.
Okay, let's talk again about Devanand. Anything special that you observed in his personality?
Devanand come here to my home also, or drink, and wanted him chicken or something. He said he drinks only hot water and eats very little and hot water. Actually, That I understood later on from other singers also, Asha Bhosle, there also. They try to drink hot water somehow to have their throats come in. So he used to do hot water also. Imagine at that time, he was almost 80, 74, 80 at that time. And he did the came here for a movie, Love in Times Square. And then he became very friendly, and then we spent a good time together for many years. He was a very nice guy, very nice guy. Then I told him, Dev Bhai, a lot of your movies, the people don't even see that movie failed it right away. He said, Michael, I don't make movies for myself. I make a movie for myself. You want to see, you don't see, don't want to see, don't want to see. That makes me happy. I made a movie. I don't care. So I said, okay. So those things, and then he died in London, yes, after some time. Very sad. Yash Chopra, you know Yash Chopra?
Yes.
Yash ji invited me to come in when I was in Mumbai. We were doing their Dhoom 3. And the manager told him, and he said, Mr. Phulwani is there. He said, oh, I have not met him because I was working for them many years, but I never met him. So he says, okay, on Saturday, come at 1 o'clock. So I met him a few minutes. So I went there, and then we had a cup of tea. And then we started talking about partition of India. He was born in Lahore, and I was born in Karachi. So we talked about a partition. Oh, then we had a lot of talk, discussion. And so some of those things I cannot tell you. That was like between me and him. But I met him at different times, different places. Sunil that was here, and he was also a lawyer. I don't know, many people don't even know he was an attorney also at one time. And I met him. I told him, Sunil ji, do you know that when I saw you for the first time? He says, no. He said, there was a movie called Railway Platform. That was near Jodhpur, Ossia or something like that. Ossia. They did shooting there. So we came in from a student, we saw you there, and you came for railway, you? I said, yeah. At that time, he also became very friendly. See, imagine, I could never even think about getting close to Devanand or to Raj Kapoor or to any of those people, right? Did I know that they'll be my close friends? They'll be giving me the business, they'll be doing. So this is how the life changes, right? From a student who wants to copy the hairstyle of that actor or put for Dilip Kumar and all those. One day.
Two, 3 questions.
Yes.
One, how business relationship and personal relationship or friendship and doing business with these individuals coexisted for you?
It does coexist automatically, but case is simple. We have a certain fee that we need to get paid, and they are most of them pay whatever is required, and not a problem, because now it's even more difficult. We got to go to the unions for clearances, then we got to get approvals and all that. But in the course, like Rishi Kapoor and all this come for a movie, they wanted some help about some other insurance or this and this. Then people think, for many people, that it's very difficult to meet or spend time together, which is true in a way. The fact of the life is that they are also lonely in a way to some extent. So when they make a contact, they become good friendly. They wanted me to come every night, having drinks with them, almost became very close, he invited me on his daughter's marriage, which I went there in Mumbai, and I met everybody there, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, everybody was there. And then we had a good time. So it develops a friendship. That's, both things go together. That's a separate thing. Money and the pay and that work is for the profession, and the personal relationship. In the personal relationship, they can, like for example, Boni Kapoor was once sitting in his office, went to find out about how to go. Rishi Kapoor called me. I said, Michael, Boni is sitting here. They want to come and do a shoot here. I said, well, I'll be more than happy to help him, sir. So no. So it runs together and without any problem.
Another question. Interacting with American community or American politicians,
yeah,
and some entrepreneurs here, etc. How did you groom yourself to deal with them in a dignified, graceful way and say what you wanted to say without feeling that I come from India, etc.?
Right. See, I always were in that becoming a leader or becoming active in that. So when I was in the law college, I was the secretary of the Law Students Union. Then when I started the Sindhi Students Association. I became a president of that, right? So this way, I had all that always, all the time. When I came here, and then I met some friends, and then Thomas Ibrahim and me and some other people, Jashpal, a group of us, and we I think it was 1978 probably or something, when we started for FIA, Federal National Indian Association. Before that, there was a small joint committee, and that was some group of people. And then I think in the first or the second, I was the vice president, Thomas was the president, and then we became in FIA. But FIA, I didn't ever ran for president of something because my immigration practice was getting very busy, and I didn't want to spend too much time, except I limited my help into anything I could do in the field of immigration and the field of my legal opinion help. I did the constitution of FIA and all that. So this way, I involved the Gopio people also. So this is how I have always been. And when after in the course of the law, I basically had an occasion to meet some senators, congressmen, when they were changing the laws. Even Thomas and me, and we went to Washington DC to meet the people there. There was a big, between America and India policy decisions. We presented some of them for the country. So like they're forgiving some money that they had a loan for the food, grains and everything. Things like that, we did participate very actively. Unfortunately, we didn't have a big, huge support as we want to do, as I told you earlier. But they've always been there. I interviewed, and ITV also was helpful to me in inviting Senator Simpson, Congressman Maloli, and other senators, congressmen, directors of immigration, CBP, ICE people, so many officials and consuls we interviewed on the TV and came into contact with them. Then our TV programs, then our newspapers. That's how the media also, as you asked me, how we got involved in the media and how media helped us also.
Talk to me a little bit about your observation of the way Indian American community has changed in terms of their influence, their impact, their wealth.
So I think partly I would say is the young generation. See, in our times, we just first immigrants, we were very busy establishing, trying to just eat something, send some money back home or all that, and wasn't there. The kids that here, they went to the college here, and they got involved in the politics, and that has changed a lot. In the last 10 years, I see a good changes taking place. Some of them are even running for the Congress or Senate, or as you know, even the president, all the presidents, Obama appointed several Indian lawyers, even Trump has appointed some people, their Shah and whatever. So things have changed, they are changing, but we still want to be more. Generally, the most important thing is become more and more citizens. Vote. Vote is powerful. When in politics they see the person, how many votes are we getting from this group? Remember, that's how the Italians established, Irish people established, Jews established. That's why they have always been, very, very active in the politics and in the government also.
When you come to America, most of the time people are looking at making more dollars. Gradually, the need of being one with God or being religious, and
there are this is again person to person. There are people who go to temples regularly, go to Dada Vaswani Center to go to this and that, and at the same time they are even millionaires and working. So, and then there are other people on the bottom line, they are only working very hard from morning to night, making some money just for the family, and they don't have much time or even resources to get involved in that. And then there are some people who don't care for all those things. They just want the money, and money. Right? So that's.
Where would you put yourself?
I put myself generally. I mean, of course, money helps us to do things that we need to do, even giving donations, even working for the family. If I don't have money, again, I'll be struggling just to earn. So if I am able to earn more money, then these activities I can spend some time. I did the beginning, as I said, FIA, a lot of time in the politics there, created these organizations, the parade. We are in the first India Day parade, and So basically,
I also wanted you to share. You have helped many temples bring in right people from India, and you have seen working of temples closely here. How do you feel the significance of Hindu temples in America?
well, basically, as you said, in my profession, there are the categories under which we can bring religious workers, whether they are Hindus, they are Muslims, they are Christians. We've done cases for all of them. But of course, obviously, Hindus being more temples and more thing, and what is the organization that you came in?
Bridge.
Bridge. Bridge, Bridge, I was lawyer for the Bridge, they gave me some awards also. So we knew how to help people. We represented them. As for the temples are concerned, I go to a temple sometimes at this point, but I used to go to your Hindu temple there and other temples also. I've been to mosque also once or twice. I went to the church also with some friends. My theory is little different. I'm sorry, we are getting in religious, but I want to say that I feel that there's only one God. There are no different gods.
I don't disagree.
Huh?
I
Yeah.
don't disagree with you on that.
You can call it God, or you can call a power that has created us, that has made the whole life. If there are, imagine if there are different gods, so how does it work then, right? It's only one God, one power. There's some one goal to reach there. That different ways. Christian will say this is the way you read the Bible, then you go. We say masjid, you go to the Bible, and the Hindus say right. Yeah, they whatever the religion they do that. It's a good idea. I'm saying everybody should follow their own religion, and we are with them on that. Whatever they want to do, which is okay. It's a good thing to do. But in the story, there is a difference. Like whether I'm saying, not everybody will say. Some religions will say this or nothing, or this or nothing, or this or nothing, and some people don't even recognize any God, that God exists, right? Atheists, right? So each individual looks differently. I look differently. I worship, of course. Being a Hindu, I have to worship Hindu religion. But I'm okay with other religions also. I think everybody has a right to follow his own religion and pray God or whatever the God is. So that's all.
Okay, now since we talked about religion, let me come towards the normal dilemma or the conflict that we observe in many families related to trying to make their kids Indian or religious or cultural, and based on your observation of so many people and the stories that you have heard, is it practical to expect
Is it good or not? First question: is it good or it's good? Because if you are a Hindu, you are an Indian. You want the children to understand. Maybe speak Hindi. Maybe go to Krishna. Maybe say Jai Shri Krishna. I'm saying that you want to do that, no? And then it's between you and the children. Not all the children want to do that, or even understand Hindi also. So it's a family thing. The family thing, how you treat, how you develop your children, how do they come out, and something people don't even know, don't care about. They're not religious at all. They don't even go to a temple. So this is
going to your personal life in the sense that you decided to go back to the place where you were born, and you went there with your daughter. Share, how was that experience?
Well, I always thought after leaving Pakistan, Pakistan after partition, 40, I always used to read the newspaper, anything about Karachi. I was born in Karachi, in Sindh. So I knew some other cities in Sindh also. In Nawab Shah, for example, one of the cities that I spent couple of years. So basically, someday I wanted to go. But before I took my daughter, one day I had a client came in from Islamabad, near Islamabad, I think. His wife's case was denied. Not denied, kept pending. 2 saal ho gaye, he not getting for some reason. He came to me, he says, I want you to go to Pakistan, go to Karachi, and then help me, talk to the consul. I didn't want to go to Karachi at that point. I said, who's going to go from here to Karachi, and so much expense? And I said, it's very difficult and very expensive. He says, how much expense can that be? How much? I say, I don't want to go. I tell him a big figure. I say, $5,000. This is 20 years ago, 25 years ago, first one. So he right away sitting in front of me opens the checkbook and give me a check for 5,000. Arey bhai, kya karenge now? What to do? I have to go. So basically, I was in India. When I made a trip to India, and from India, then you go to Lahore. From Lahore, you change it to the Islamabad. Of course, I knew somebody there now that used to deal with him on the phone and the calls also. So I had, went there and talked to him, called him already. He came meet me. And then he said, okay, we'll see what we can do. He told the consul that I'm coming from America, lawyer and all. He said, okay. So I went to him and he explained the case because local staff also gave the file to him, everything. He said, got it. So he was very happy. And then he took me to some other places, I enjoyed also. Actually, to tell you some stories, the other stories I can probably spend a lot of time. I wanted some beer, so I told the waiter to bring beer. He took my passport and came back without a beer. I said, why? Because you were born in Pakistan. I said, but there were no Pakistan at that time. He said, no. I said, all right. My client came in. I said, oh, no problem. He got 6 bottles of cold beer. All that. So anyway, so all
if you were born in Pakistan, you don't get
that what they say, Pakistanis who are born really there, Pakistan. After that, basically, then they don't give them a drink to you because it's a religious thing there for them. But anyway, basically those. So after that, then I had another matter that I went also. Then I had a client here who came from Pakistan, had other injury case. So I got him about $200,000-300,000 through other lawyer, and he was very happy. So he had always been said, sir, come, you don't worry, you come. So I took my daughter at that time, and I went from Pakistan Airways to Karachi. He came and picked me up, and I stayed in a Marriott hotel. Then he gave me a round of where I was born, in the hospital, Sobrachi Tumal Hospital they call it, my father's office, the court where my father used to practice law, the school where I went, all those places I show my daughter, and my home where I used to live. Actually, I wanted to take her up, but they said they are Muslim ladies and no man is there.
Tell me, how did you feel revisiting those places where you grew up?
So places are still there, but what major changes have happened, of course. There was both Hindus, Muslims there at that time. Mostly it is, of course, Muslims, but crowded. It's Karachi was one of the most beautiful cities in the country at that time, during the British period. But then with the migration and all that, a lot of rush and a lot of people there, and it's not as good as. But basically, otherwise, the life goes on, and people were. I went to the cinema where I used to go, but I enjoyed. I enjoyed coming back and going to my hospital where I was born, to the school I was born, and my friends, the Muslim friends that from Pakistan took me around the different parts of the Sindh, and we enjoyed. We had a good time.
Mr. Phulwani, being successful is important, and sustaining your success is not only difficult, it also gives you some sort of a satisfaction, I assume. And that satisfaction sometimes results into, or may result into, a kind of ego trip. In your case, how did you worked on this feeling that, oh, I'm so and so, and now I am.
It's like self saying that means. I don't want to praise myself or say anything. I don't have any ego. People who are poor. And I forgot to tell you, in Mumbai, one of my closest friends was a panwala. You believe it? I mean, when I was on the railway. When I was on the railway, he became very friendly with me because he could not go in the UP persons in the. They had to sleep 2 days on the railway platform to get the tickets. He couldn't go. So I used to just go for a pan only every day. Then he asked somebody, what to do? He said, that Mr. Phulwani is an officer in the immigration. Why don't you talk to him? He said, okay. So he talked to me one day. Sir, I didn't know that. I said, when do you want to go? I told him, I'm going after 6 days. You come with me. He said, but ticket? Don't worry about the ticket. Because I had in my pass, I had one servant included. I could have servant with me. So at that time, people couldn't get the ticket for 2 to 3 days. I went there, I told the TT, because with chief, being a legal department, they always, what they say. I say, I'm going, my first class, I got ticket. I say, my assistant is coming, servant is coming in. See if you can find a sleeper, not a seat, only seat. Say, yes, sir, he found us. He was so surprised. Not only that, but that officer asked him, "Why your hands are so red?" He said, "What to do, sir? My boss eats at least 10 or 8 or 10 all day. I make pans for him." So I laughed like anything. And then he actually came 2-3 stations, just bring a pan, show me around. Then I took him to Jabalpur, and then I went to Allahabad up to him that way. So basically, I don't care who I am, what I am. I have people with the poor or rip. People come even today when people are working in a Dunkin' Donuts or $5, $7, $8, $10, whatever they are millionaires. They come in. I do my job. Film companies. It could be Salman Khan or Shah Rukh Khan or any of those big producers are there, which I serve. I respect them and I thank them also. At the same time, a small guy comes in, my little problem comes in. I do my job, what I can do. That's my job to do. There's nothing to be ego about that. There's no ego. What should I ego to what? What is the person? What is ego? I don't even understand. What is ego? What is the meaning of the ego?
I won't tell you, but let me ask you another question. And we are going back to some of the important landmark events in your life. So, mostly immigrants feel that when they will have their own home, it will be like American dream realized. So, how was it when you purchased your home anyway?
No, I wasn't thinking about American or anything. For my own convenience, I had a small place, and then another place, a rental place, and then I had the money to buy a house, and I wanted to practice law in New Jersey also, so I got in New Jersey. So that's nothing to do with being American. It says that, and basically some people say, and they know actually most other people buy the house because they need it, not has to be American. But here it's a different thing. A little bit people think that you are not apple pie and Chevrolet and home. That makes you American. I say American is basically American.
You have always kept Mercedes. Any reason?
No, that was initial stages. But then, of course, right now I do Lexus, whichever good car I find, and I like. So after a few years, I like that, and then I like the Lexus getting better for me. So that's.
What do you like most about being in America in terms of general lifestyle change from India?
It's a big difference. You see, I'm not anti-Indian. Still, वो भारत प्यारा हमारा तन मन उस पर वारेंगे, right? Still, I love my country of birth. Actually, you can say that Pakistan, but that's where I finally got into and became a citizen of India. But what's your question, sorry?
What do you like most about America?
Where?
America.
Most of I'm comparing actually, in a way, the lifestyle is a little different there. And lifestyle is different here. First of the comforts of life are here. The friendship and culture is there. When I was there, every day in the evening, we come from the office, sit in the pan wala, and all the actors used to come together, pan and all that, and enjoy the friends in the evening, go around, or get the movies together, and friendship. We go to anybody's house, kit, and not. You don't go to anybody's house without calling him first. Can I come in? Right? So there's differences culturally, but practically also, I mean, there have been some changes, and I hope there will be more changes to take place. But basically, what I'm saying that the lifestyle in each stage that you do, go to a bank, you go to a post office, you go to any service, is not the same thing here. To me, when my manager of the hotel the bank comes here at least once or twice every month and says, "Sir, what can we do for you?" There you go in the bank sometimes. I mean, I was surprised 2 hours, 3 hours. The manager's not there. Sit here, sit here, sit here, sit here. It was here. I don't go to the bank. I just pick up phone and call them to transfer or do anything. So basically, I don't dare to go to bank. I do everything on the phone. So convenient. Same thing with the FedEx thing, the other systems. They are changing in India also now, but it's a lot of difference still. For example, I tell you, the only one thing that concerns me the most by going to India is that what happens if I get a serious medical problem? Let's say I got a heart attack and I'm in Juhu. How do I get into the hospital? You call them. It takes me at least half an hour for the heavy traffic. They have to come in and pick it and then take it back 1 hour at least to bring the patient back. 1 year is very dangerous. Here you pick a phone, you call 911, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We got police cars there. These are some of the things. I'm not saying all, maybe other things also. Of course, I understand. I'm not blaming that because India's population, the way the roads are, the way the rush is, and not everybody has a helicopter. Where, of course, like Ambani's have a helicopter also on the top, and so they can fly in. But how do you do it? What's the solution? I don't know. Is there a solution to that as compared to your health? Of course, medically also they are increasing now in that, basically not the same thing still. The nature of service here, the specialized doctors and all that, the ones they are here. Even people come from India for cancer, for other, ministers I have seen coming in, politicians are coming in, Bollywood people are coming in, they all come here for treatment. Why so? Right? So these are some of the things that make a difference between living here and living there. And then when you are living here, you have children here. For example, children are going to school, they are calling, they are married, they are like, you want to stay near the children, right? So that's, even if you decide to go back to India, that's one issue. Whether you will, how do you often you meet them, you'll come fly to meet them, or they come fly to meet you there. These are the practical things in life. Or you have an established practice. I mean, I don't need, basically if I just wanted to live in India, it's okay, God has given me enough money, I can handle it myself. I'm probably doing, still working, not for the money. But if I can help any people, that also makes me happy. If at this age also, if I can resolve a serious problem because of my experience and all that, I'm happy that I won a case. I helped this guy who was thinking that he never get a green card, right? That doesn't happen there. That doesn't happen there.
Talking about your ability to help, and you have heard many people facing complicated situation in their life because of immigration laws, and you have tons of stories of people's problem areas.
Yes.
Share any one or two that.
See, the one major problem for most people who are here illegally, who came illegally, who overstayed and all that, right? And they cannot adjust their status in the US. So these people, father dies, mother dies, whatever happens, they cannot leave the country. It's very, 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 very sad that a person comes to me and said, my father's died, I want to go, you cannot come back, go. My mother died, I cannot go. My father died, mother died, no, my sister wants to get married, can I go now? I say, you can go, but you cannot come back. This is the one major thing for most of you, not one single person I'm saying. This is the bigger issue. Then people that are coming here, like a Dhaka, people are other coming living here, some of them are working under the table cash. Some of them are also worried day and night, especially with the new changes taking place in the administration and enforcement. They are always worried someday these people are going to come pick me up and deport me. They are under a lot of pressure. So this is what is happening because of the laws of our immigration laws are broken. They have to be fixed, and it will happen someday because there are 12 million people who can be deported, which they can never do it. Forget 12 million people, 1 million they cannot do, 500,000 they cannot do. Basically deport. It's not easy. It's not easy. Someday, hopefully, as I said in one of my other programs, my dream, someday there will be a president, there will be a Congress, they will realize the fact and they will legalize the people. I don't mind, to tell you the truth, I like the enforcement. I like people to stop people coming illegally. I like them not to overstay and to follow the law. I like them. But this is created to some extent, I would say, by our past histories. Past history was that people used to come from Mexico, go back on holiday, come back, go back. So agriculture workers were no problem. Everybody was not encouraged, but making it possible that you just come in and that's it. And somehow you get a green card, you live here. But that policy should have been changed 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it would have done. All of a sudden, you want to deport all of them. I'm saying doing it for future. I would say nobody will say, even no lawyer says that let illegal people come in. That's not right. That's not right. And that will never take you anywhere. If you take that position, you are bad. You are not a good thing to do. We say yes, right. You should stop. You should do whatever, penalize the employer, penalize the people, make it difficult for the people to break the laws. But think about the people who are already here for 20 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, been working here, children are born, were citizens here. So this is one of the major thing that needs to be fixed. We will get it fixed. My dream will come true.
Now, talking about your dreams and moving towards the concluding part of our conversation, there are some moments that stays with you as high. So, in your years that you have been in America, any one or two incidences which, when you recollect, you feel happy, you get that aha feeling that, oh, this happened and I was
It has
really happy.
happened, not just me. Our generation, the first generation, and those who came back 50, 60 years ago and went through, even they had made millions and all that, still they have worked all their life very hard, dealt with, from morning to night, working hard, and then where's the time for going out and meeting friends and cultural every day? Every day in there, Jodhpur, Jaipur, Mumbai, in the evening we are going out, having dinners, drinks, enjoying and making friends and relatives and each other. That is very limited here. Even imagine what happens when many times the parents get old and they put them in the, elderly service, right? That never happened in India. Up to the death, the parent was in the home only. That's it. I mean, in a way, your father also was in the home. Whatever happened, even he got sick, but entire family tried to help him. At some point, everybody has to go. It's not just me, you, or anybody. Time comes for every person that has to go. Some go early, some go late. Inshallah, God willing.
So now, most important people in your life who either you would say made a mark on the way you experience life or taught you something which you consider was precious or made you happy in a way which is very special?
See, different areas. For example, your father, we were very good friends, we enjoyed the life together as good friends and all that, right? Then I might have met some people who were very, let's say, experienced in their own field, whether it's a legal field, whether it's any other field, people meeting with a lot of information that I got through them, watching TV and also.
Name a person.
Huh?
Name the person.
Name the person is not one individual. There's so many people from different things coming from. A friend that I had a lawyer before working with me for many years, for example, I learned something and he benefited, I benefited. We couldn't continue the work, then some other person. Whichever way, like Ashok Vyas, for example, I'm saying. So basically, each person gives or takes something different from their life. Not the same. Some people, even their friends that are some other die, they have to just invite for dinner and a drink and be friendly and have a good time with them. So it's not, or going even to a religion, even getting the awards. I mean, for a moment it's okay. Like Salman Khan, they're giving the award and people are giving we all think Bollywood says, okay, thank you, congrats. Gives you, of course, understanding, some help. But that's exactly coming from one particular Bollywood group or coming from an intelligence group or coming from the FIA having started the organization. So this is not one individual side. He's on the top of the way that changed my life. Everybody made me help in my life differently in different ways and different times.
Any book that you read and was very moving?
Well, I'm a Bollywood guy. So the book is right here in my office. It's Raj Kapoor's life. I mean, I always liked that Kapoor family, Prithvi Raj Kapoor, then I met them also. Prithvi is not Prithvi Raj Kapoor, but all others, the group, that I liked very much. Their book, I read it, very nice history of the complete. His great grandfather is born and how they developed, and the brothers and Rishi and Randhir and Rajiv, and then Raj Kapoor's Shashi Kapoor and Raj Kapoor.
And now, if a teenager comes to you and asks you to share the secret of your success or share some tips for him or her to succeed?
Well, that I can take, but again, each person has a different way of doing and living. So general principles are work hard, be honest, never lie, right? Of course, sometimes lying has to be necessary because they say it, their mom, मैं नहीं माखन खायो. I'm just saying. But basically, respect your parents, respect the elderly people, and work hard in your life. That's the most important thing. Be honest, and then up to them. For the religion is up to them, what they want to do with the religion, whether the marriage or what they want to do, children they want to do. So that's basically. And then look at the profession. Again, my daughter I wanted her to be a lawyer, for example. But then she says, I want to be a doctor. I said, fine. Don't press them. That's another thing. You've probably not seen the newspapers and articles I follow a lot. Lot of young children are committing suicides. You know about that? Depressed and committing suicide. Because I had a lady that became friendly. The family, her son jumped, and then she has been contacting me and saying about this. She wrote a book also. I have that book also about this. But then I've been following newspapers and articles that there has been a lot of times that these children are depressed, and depressed is causing them to commit suicide. So that's something that we have to take care of. The gunshots, they say, and some of them, quite a bit of them, are those who are because of mentally, not well, and there are a lot of them. So this is something that I think this country has to take care of, taking care of the people who have got mental problems, and keep an eye on them. Even parents should look their child, how they are going, what is their activity, where they are going. That's why. Yeah.
Last two questions.
Yeah.
One, if there was a way for you to go back and change the way things unfolded for you, anything that you would have loved to do different, or something that you would have liked to have happened differently?
If I go to India, is that your question?
Wherever.
Out of US, you are saying?
In your life.
Out of US or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Well, it's hard to say, then do. I mean, now I'm thinking that I should have stopped working a few years back and just going around the world tour and all that. But I was so involved, and I liked also. It's a question of liking. If I work not for money, if I work for my knowledge, right, also. Work for heading. I mean, I really get happy when the difficult case comes and I solve it, and he gets a green card and they say, I never thought this will happen. That makes me happy. So again, going back, I could have said that maybe I should have stopped 10 years ago and spent the rest of the life and maybe going to Florida and stay someplace. And again, you got other factors, other family members are there, your children are here. You got to take everything into consideration before you are making the decisions. Like, you get a better job and better thing in California. You may not want to go because you have to leave the children here, and it's easy. Right, because a lot of different reasons that.
Last question, two in one.
Yeah.
A little bit difficult to ask, but we all human beings leave our mortal frame.
Yeah.
Are you scared of going away, leaving your body? One question. Second, how would you like to be remembered? In terms of call that your legacy, or this is what I was.
I'm not any worried. I know already that sometime in the life this is going to happen, so I'd accept it. There's no need to worry about that. How, that's up to the people that I have dealt with, that I have, the respect they have for me or not have for me, that I cannot change, and I don't want to say that they should do this or that. Everybody has his own way of.
You don't have any specific preference that you should be, or you would love to be remembered like this?
No, that's again ego. In a way, you can say that you want to say that you also consider me as the king or whatever, big leader. Nothing. It doesn't happen also. My Sindhi mein, I'm saying, my mother used to say, "Jo ko chulus the, so dil te." That means the chule ke hai, wahan, wo dil mein bhi hai. Wo gaya. What happens when the people dies? Do you still are so close to that person, even family members, their life, अपनी life होती है शुरू, बच्चे हैं, wife है, soon they forget all that, once a while, year में थोड़ा कर देंगे, उनका annual कुछ something or something, whatever, right? That's the way it is. Life is like that. You cannot live with the people who are not longer here. They are gone. So only even thinking, some people say, thinking about your friends or family who are no longer here, yes, but to an extent. Because if you really, really go back and then you really think about all those things and the death of the person and he's no longer there, she's no longer here, you are basically stopping going forward, right? Because in order to go, respect them and do whatever needs to be done, but spend your life whatever you can, helping people, you keeping your mind, fit. The most important thing, you know more, that when people lose their energy, it becomes a very tough thing, very tough thing. So basically, as long as any person, not me or you or anybody, as long as you can live nicely, you can think nicely, you can read, you can eat, you can do whatever normal things and help other people, that's probably what one should do, and not worry about the past. I mean, people come for, I tell you, the girl comes to me, immigration case, simple thing again. I lot of talk about immigration because that's in my heart and mind. The girls come to me, he said, I want you to deport my husband. They had a fight. She's a citizen, he was not a citizen. She says, bloody hell, he got married with me only for getting a green card. And now this is. I say, well, deport we can complain, but up to immigration service. He says, okay, then I want to give him a poison. I want to kill him, poison. He said, well, I am not in that business of giving poison to people. Right? He keeps crying. Parents are sitting there. Parents are sitting there here. So I said, let me give you a couple of things, ideas. You keep on, you're crying, you sleep in the night. Well, he said, no, I cannot sleep in the night, so I'm crying. I said, 1 year you have been doing that. What is the point? What are you trying to prove? What's going to happen to you? You are, they are whatever beautiful. I said, you are such a beautiful, nice girl, young girl, 28 only. Forget that. You made a mistake, something happened wrong. First forget it. And start finding some good husband and start your life. Don't don't live in the past. Keep crying and crying and crying and sleeping and thinking of him. Okay, whatever he did bad is out of your field. Take him out and throw it away. Start your life all over again. And that's then the parents came in. I said, sir, we have been telling her the same thing. And then now she says, yeah, okay. And I said, yes, I want your report after 6 months. Tell me how you are doing. So that's that's what I'm saying. That helps. That makes you feel good that you help somebody. Right? I don't know whether I told you a story about somebody that came to me for his daughter, who was not doing good, going drinks and all, whatever he wants to, citizen, 17-year-old. He said, what shall I do? I said, basically, I don't know what you plan to do. He said, I want to take her to India, leave her with my parents, and that's it, and take her passport away. I said, but then she's a citizen, she will go to the embassy, get a new passport and come back. He said, no, but there's something has to be done and all that. I said, well, the only thing is, when she stays there, maybe your grandfather and her children, they just change her mind and they lives and understands the culture and maybe make changes, But I said, but I thought you would come here for a consultation on immigration. He says, I knew that you're going to ask me, but I know that you have a lot of experience in life. Maybe you can talk about this also and give them some ideas. I said, okay. So basically, it's just helping people. And they call me after 6 months, as they said that she's okay now. And then once she gets married again, they come to you to do her case. So basically, you make you happy. Make somebody to do something that is the right path, rather than crying and thinking about the past. You have to go forward with life. Whatever life is, years are left. You just do what needs to be done.
Thank you very much, sir. You have helped us appreciate life with pragmatism and with a sense of joy and jest.
And thank you very much. I hope a lot of our people that are listening to this program get some help out of this. And thank you very much.
Thank you.